I'll go with you, Coach. Paulie with Cardinal Couple. You started out this Friday or Saturday with Florida coming in. I've seen them ranked as high as 7th or 8th in some of the preseason polls. Just how's the team looking coming into this first one?
We're excited. We're excited. We can obviously wait for Saturday. It's sort of been a long, drawn out fall and sort of preseason, obviously with COVID and that stuff. So we just need to play some outside competition. With us not being allowed to play outside competition in the fall, we've been just playing against ourselves. A good thing that our roster size is increased, that has allowed us to full field scrimmage a little bit, but it'll be good to get out there on Saturday and number one to see how we are, but then number two to see what we need to work on as well too.
Scott, hey, it's Jody Demley with Cardinal Insider. What, in speaking to that, think back and let's go from this time last year until now, and how challenging has it been with all the things that you guys as a staff have had to go through, roster management and that kind of thing, and keeping the kids positive, and what's it going to be like Saturday to finally go play?
Yeah, for all the ideals, it has not been normal. Everything has been sort of different. However, it hasn't been all negative. There's been some positives. I know talking with Coach Walls a little bit with the recruiting going to all online. It has allowed us to be with our teams more. As coaches and that stuff. So the progression and development of our players have been phenomenal. Just that we've had limited stuff to do as well. So it's like we're on the field a lot more with our athletes that we could develop for the technology base as well too. Getting to go outside the box a little bit by doing Zoom calls and using like all the technology web basis things to expand our program that you usually didn't have time with. And as for Saturday, the players are excited. They're excited to get out there. Even they're even downplaying the cold front we're having right now, and every day they're checking. It's getting a little warmer and warmer, and obviously having Florida come in, the weather plays to our advantage a little bit as well. But they're excited just to get out there.
Hey, Coach Gary Fogle here. I'll be part of the web broadcast on Saturday. I noticed 2 years ago you had Tessa Chad. You had one senior. I think last year you had two seniors, and this year you have like, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 seniors, something like that. I can't imagine. What does that feel like to have that many veterans?
Yeah, it's definitely different. It's part of the rebuild process. When I took over 4 years ago, there was an exit of players and athletes that led to the sort of the coaching change. And we were depleted for the first few years. So it's great to have a roster. And have depth pretty well in every position. And then have our senior leadership. Our seniors are a special class. They were freshmen. When the coaching change happened. So they've been with me almost since my day one being here. So they know my expectations and what we're trying to do within our program.
Hey, Coach, this is Tyler Nunez from Sports Information. You just talked about the seniors. 2 of those are sisters who have been with you since that time. What's it been like coaching a pair of twins like that for those first 4 years, and what have they contributed to this squad over that time?
Well, they're definitely both players that we count on. Carol gets a lot more of the accolades on being a two-way midfielder, but then Sarah is equally just as important on our defensive end. She's our shutdown defender, our face guarder if we play that style of play. And both of them they stick together and push each other. And I think that's the biggest thing on and off the field, that they both are so competitive. Like from our run test, they're usually 1-2 or 2-1, that they just sort of compete with one another, and it brings out the best in both of them. And it's led to us really recruiting a lot of sister combinations and that stuff. And even though like we have 2 twins that play in our program, I think we have 3 or 4 of our players as well that are biological twins. As well, that we have one that they have either a brother that plays lacrosse at another school. We have one set of triplets as well as a one member of a triplet as well. So,
Hey, Coach, with Rachel Florek back in goal, Keith, that's obviously a big benefit for you all. She had such a great shortened season last year. Just talk about some of the leadership and the things that she brings to the squad.
yeah, she was definitely coming into her own, and with her season being cut short a little bit too, she was just hitting her stride. That she's been developing and really showing that she's one of the elite goalies in the ACC and in our conference. She's really the backbone of our defense, and she's really expanded her role in the leadership with us having some younger defenders and really got to know the ins and outs of our defensive system. That she's really developing into a great leader as well.
Coach, you talked about the weather and the fact that you're playing Florida. You know, they've been practicing in warmer weather than you guys. Have you talked much with your girls about how this may be a psychological advantage if the weather is bad?
We talk about a lot of things and that stuff. We don't really talk negative about Florida, but more or less like, okay, what do we need to do? That we have to be prepared for it. And it all comes down to the little things as well, making sure that they're wearing their cold gear, that they're staying comfortable and warm on the sidelines. As well, we try to utilize our field as much as possible. I think this spring we've only been in Traeger, our indoor facility, once. Which is great. And I've actually had them playing when there's been a couple inches of snow on our turf as well, because like with the elements and that stuff in our area, it's happened before. I think we played Denver here and we started and the turf was green and ended and it was white. And then we've had a game in Denver. It was as well. The girls were wearing shorts and that stuff the day before, and then the next day it was probably about 20 to 30 degrees different in cold too. So we just have to be adaptable and be ready and not use it as an excuse to be ready when you got number 7 or number 8 in the nation come in. This is an opportunity for us to make a statement.
Coach, it looks like a strong freshman class coming in, 10, 11 freshmen here. Maybe a particular interest to a lot of fans would be Kokoro Naza. I'm going to try to get this right. Nakazawa in from Japan playing for you. First Japanese player you've had.
Kokoro has she came in. She got a little bit of a late start. We had some visa issues right at the beginning because of COVID with the embassies being closed. But she got here and then has really progressed. And that stuff. It's really my first player that English hasn't been her primary language. As well, and everything is running really smooth. That you're gonna see her out there contributing right away. That she brings an element to our program that we haven't seen before since I've really been here in the creative stick. You're gonna see some flair, some highlight reel stuff, just with her skill set. And you're going to see quite a few freshmen actually taking the field for the first time in their college career, and it's sort of a little bit of a sink or swim type of mentality because they haven't had the experience of playing outside competition like in the fall as well. So they've been working extremely hard. I think they're ready. We just need to get them playing experience as well. But I think there will be like 5 or 6 freshmen that will be in the game and hopefully will be key contributors for us.
Scott, what do you what kind of goals or what do you expect from this season? And again, it's been such a long time since anybody has played. It's been a crazy offseason. Kind of your expectations as you go into it.
Yeah, the goal doesn't change from last year. And I think if we were able to play the full season last year, we would have been able to reach our goal to get to the NCAA tournament. Our schedule is very difficult. It's going to prepare us. Like you look at the conference, the ACC, number 1, 2, and 3 are all in our conference. And then with COVID, the limitations of scheduling and that stuff, that we end up playing Syracuse, Boston College, and Notre Dame twice. That are all four are arguably top 5 teams in our conference as well too. So you don't want to get too ahead of yourself. We're just focused on Florida right now. We take it day by day. Just make sure that we're getting better and fine-tuning. What we've been working on is a lot of our adjustments and scouting parameters and stuff like that, our tweaks to our systems. But really, before the last couple of weeks, it was really just getting our systems down in all areas of the game, and really the development piece of our individuals and building chemistry, that you're going to see a little bit of a different looking team than you've seen in the last couple of years.
Coach, is everybody healthy? You come into the season healthy?
We have a couple players that are banged up, still recovering from off-season surgeries, that won't be available for Saturday's game, but they're getting closer. That for all means that they'll be probably within the next couple or 3 weeks. We got a nagging foot injury, that a girl is coming back from a broken foot that hasn't healed 100% correctly, so she got delayed a little bit as well. And then just a couple labrum surgeries. That is a pretty extensive surgery for an athlete to come back from, and they just need a few more weeks before we can actually get them in full go, get them up to the level that they need to play.
Scott, what's the luxury of having a 4-year captain with Caroline? What can you kind of go over what that? I mean, it's almost like having another coach out there, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely it is, and it's sort of unheard of. It's really unheard of, because everyone thinks that juniors and seniors should be your captains and leaders, which makes sense. But when we came in, I took the mentality that I want, if I had 25 players, I got 25 leaders. And that stuff, like, I didn't recruit any of those players. I didn't really know too many of them other than my 2 or 3 weeks of trying to scout them and try to figure out who they were before. So then when I got on campus, it was Caroline's name kept on coming up that she was going to be a key person in our program and a key person into that year's class. So we made her a captain. And I'll be honest with you right now, you hit the nail right on the head by being another coach. She's thinks lacrosse 24/7. She keeps on coming to me about different thoughts that she has, that we'll always listen to help her teammates out, or who she wants to play with, or what scenarios and that stuff, just to sort of expand. And it's almost to the point that I joke around with her at times, and with Carol as of late. Hey, players play, coaches coach. Like, if you want to be a coach, you won't be playing. And that just sort of keeping her in her groove. But I'm expecting big things for her this year.
Anything else for Coach Teeter?
I guess just to finish up with Coach a little bit, Carolyn Blaylock, you've talked so much about already, got a very nice preseason All-American nod too as well. Just talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, no, definitely we're starting to turn some heads. Obviously playing the first game on the ACC network, national TV last year against North Carolina, we didn't really get off to a good start, but we really played well in the second half. So we were just hitting our stride, and it's great to see that other coaches and the media outlets are taking notice of what we're building here. Our recruiting has gone fantastic in that stuff, that we're getting a lot of our top recruits to commit to us as well, and it's just a piece of the puzzle to and a step along the way for the building of this program, and with her getting a preseason All-American, where it's well deserved, and for us to get that recognition, it's very much appreciated.
Hey, Coach, one more question about you mentioned earlier about how you like to kind of recruit siblings and twins now. Can you kind of expand on that and why it is exactly like having those guys on your team?
Yeah, we don't necessarily look for that, but I think it really comes back to our family atmosphere. That we have our lacrosse family here, and lacrosse is a sport. You have your lacrosse family, but we have our Louisville Lacrosse the family as well, and all the family upbringings, and we look for like family characteristics in our recruits and part of our mold of our athletes, and it just makes the adjustment. Being here in the Midwest, and we do a lot of recruiting all over the place. If you're bringing someone in, or a teammate in, or a sister in with them, it helps with the adjustment. The adjustment to college and that stuff. They're automatically going to have 30 or 40 automatic sisters, but when they have that one true sister in the program as well, like when you get a little bit of homesick or things get a little bit tougher, that's the person that you're going to gravitate to. So it just helps. It helps with their development and their mentality a little bit as well too.
All right, is that it for Coach? Well,
Thank you,
Coach, we appreciate your time.
Saturday.
All right, thanks, guys. I appreciate it very much.
Thanks,
Appreciate it,
everybody.
Coach.
And we'll get Lori and